Hello and welcome to this session, and in this session we shall continue our understanding of the different types of pronouns. Particularly in this session our focus shall be on the possessive pronouns. So why do we really need possessive pronouns and how they really impact the framing of English sentences? Let me explain. Even before I dive deep and tell you as to what really the possessive pronouns are, have a look at this sentence. The cat is playing with the cat's toy. Well, this sentence definitely looks valid, but then I'm sure you realize that the subject of this sentence, that is, the cat, has appeared twice in the sentence. No doubt, the object of the sentence happens to be the toy, but then the repetition of the subject is somewhat making the sentence awkward, and if I really have to remove this awkwardness and make the sentence simple, then all that I'll have to do is to replace the second occurrence of the subject, that is the cat's, with the equivalent possessive pronoun. And in this sentence, the equivalent possessive pronoun that suits the context is its. And now if you would look at the sentence that the cat is playing with its toy, definitely avoids repetition and makes the sentence more concise. In other words, you can easily notice here that the inclusion of the possessive pronoun has definitely simplified the sentence. Anyway, let me give you one more example. Have a look at this sentence. John loves John's car. Well, again you can notice the awkwardness in this sentence because the subject, that is John, is appearing twice in the sentence, and no doubt the object happens to be car, but then definitely the occurrence of the subject twice is making this sentence a lot complicated. And if I'll really have to eliminate this complication, all that I'll have to do is to replace the second occurrence of the subject with the suitable possessive pronoun, and in this case I cannot be replacing the second occurrence of the subject John's with its. Obviously, John is a person and I cannot be referring to him as an animal or a thing. In other words, what I mean to say is that the suitable possessive pronoun in this case happens to be his. And now, if you would notice the sentence that John loves his car, definitely is a meaningful and an impactful sentence which is a lot smoother and easier to read. Now that you have got a certain insight into what really possessive pronouns are, let me tell you that formally a possessive pronoun is defined as such a type of a pronoun that is used to indicate ownership. Basically, it is used to indicate the possession of an object. Well, that way, all of these words in English are categorized as possessive pronouns. In fact, you can use any of these words based on the context to indicate as to who owns something or to whom something belongs to. Anyway, when I would use them in my English sentences, it shall become completely clear to you, but then these happen to be the various utilities associated with the possessive pronouns. Well, that way I'm sure you already understand that the possessive pronouns help us in avoiding repetition, but then what do these other 2 points mean? Let me explain. Have a look at this sentence. The book that belongs to me is on the table. Well, this sentence no doubt is valid, but then it is a lengthy sentence. The book that belongs to me happens to be the phrase which is actually making this sentence lengthy. That way, if I shall be replacing this phrase with a shorter phrase, that is my book, then the sentence that my book is on the table also communicates the same meaning as that of the previous sentence. And in the second sentence, the word my is what we categorize as the possessive pronoun. Well, I'm sure that you can notice that the second sentence definitely enhances clarity and also brevity. After all, you can notice that the sentence is brief, or in other words, the sentence is shorter. So, all said and done, I'm sure that through this example, you have been able to understand that the possessive pronouns indeed enhance clarity and brevity. Anyway, let me give you one more example to substantiate this point for you. Have a look at this sentence. The decision made by you was crucial. Anyway, this also is a valid sentence, but then is a lengthy sentence. We can actually write an equivalent shorter sentence for this. Anyway, why this sentence is lengthy is because of the phrase, the decision made by you. And this longer phrase can be easily replaced with a shorter one as your decision. And now, the sentence that your decision was crucial definitely is a sentence which is impactful, meaningful, and is also brief. And in this shorter phrase, the word your happens to be the possessive pronoun. In fact, it is the introduction of this word your that is making the sentence concise, simple, and easier to understand. So, all said and done, I'm sure now you can understand that the possessive pronouns indeed enhance clarity and make the sentences brief. But then, what about this third point? Let me explain. Have a look at this sentence. The car that belongs to Alice is parked in the driveway. Well, this no doubt is a valid English sentence, but then it is pretty lengthy, and the over lengthiness of this sentence is predominantly due to the phrase the car that belongs to Alice. It is due to this longer phrase that the sentence is also long. But then, in case I happen to replace this longer phrase with an equivalent possessive pronoun, then I can definitely shorten the length of the sentence. And if you'll ask me as to what really is the possessive pronoun that needs to be used, then I would recommend using the possessive pronoun her. And now you can notice the sentence that her car is parked in the driveway definitely is a more concise sentence. Moreover, using the possessive pronoun her immediately establishes the relationship between Alice and the car, and this definitely indicates to us that it is Alice who owns the car, and here the possessive pronoun her is precisely indicating that. So I'm sure that through this example you have been able to understand that the possessive pronouns also facilitate establishing relationships. Anyway, let me give you one more example to substantiate this point for you. Have a look at this sentence. The shoes that belongs to John are near the door. Well, this sentence is no doubt valid, but then it is also lengthy, and here the over lengthiness of the sentence is due to the phrase the shoes that belongs to John. Well, this phrase is the one that is making the sentence lengthy, and the moment I replace this phrase with the suitable possessive pronoun his, then the sentence that his shoes are near the door definitely makes the sentence simple, concise, and brief. Here, the usage of the possessive pronoun his shall instantly connect John with the shoes, making the ownership between John and the shoes clear and direct. In other words, I am sure that even through this example, you have been able to understand that the possessive pronouns definitely help in establishing the relationship between the person and the object. So all said and done, I am sure that in this session, you have been able to understand as to what really is the role played by possessive pronouns are. Indeed, mastering possessive pronouns gives you that leverage to make your sentences more meaningful, impactful, and compact. Well, that way there are a lot of other pronouns that you really need to know about so that you can master all of them and create impressive English sentences. And if you really have to do all of that, then the only thing that you need to do is to continue watching this video series. Hope this session was informative. Thanks for watching. Let's meet again in my next session.